Davey was he was pretty good as a brother. We had our competitions and we had our fights. I don't think anything was out of the ordinary, but he had things that he liked to do, and I had my things.
As the final third of the season continued, a battered Davey Allison headed to Michigan, a place he had dominated in past runs. While he was en route to the race, brother Clifford was practicing for his qualifying run in a Busch Grand National event at the Speedway when tragedy struck. Clifford would not survive his accident. An emotionally stunned Allison arrived at the track trying to erase the pain and move on towards his own championship dreams. But there was nothing he could do but remember his brother. Despite his grief, Davey climbed into his race car on Sunday, seeking comfort the only way a stock car driver knows how: racing.
Look at all the negative things and all the things that have gone wrong. You can drag yourself down, and I've never had the type of personality to do that. I've always been the kind of person that look at the bright side of everything and try to make something positive out of even the worst situations. And, you know, Clifford's death, it hit close to home and it hit awful hard. But the thing about it was he wasn't working at a job that he didn't like. He was doing what he enjoyed, and we all know what the dangers are and what the risks are before we ever fasten the seat belts and the shoulder harnesses. And that part of it makes me happy, that I know that he might have died, but he died happy.
Time ever, the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series cars are set to compete. But it has been a week filled with sadness, as 2 days ago, 27-year-old Clifford Allison lost his life in a practice accident. The mood is understandably solemn as we now go trackside to today's Grand Marshal, Benny Parsons.
Ladies and gentlemen, ESPN, Michigan International Speedway, and Detroit Gasket would like to dedicate this race today to the memory of Clifford Allison. And I know that the Allison family realizes all of us today are thinking about them. You know, the sweetest sound that a racing car driver hears is the command to start him up and the sound of a racing engine. So why don't y'all stand up and help me get these guys started today. On three. 1, 2, 3. Shauna and gentlemen, start your engines.
In the field today are wearing number 9 in memory of Clifford Allison, the number that he wore in Busch Grand National competition. This is a tough time for the people in sport of auto racing, but all of these drivers know the risk when they strap themselves inside of a race car. I talked to Bobby Allison last night at his home in Hueytown, Alabama, and he and his wife Judy, the mother of Clifford Allison, wanted us to pass along their thanks to all of the prayers, the best wishes, and the phone calls that they have received during this period of mourning for the family.
Ned, we at ESPN would like to add our condolences and deepest sympathies to the Allison family as they attempt to deal with this devastating loss. But Clifford would want them to go on, and indeed 34 Grand National drivers will put aside their pain and prepare for 200 miles of exciting speedway action coming your way next from Michigan.
Well, Jerry, Jeff Gordon has already shown in qualifying that he can more than hold his own. Back on Thursday, he won the pole 0.3 of a second faster than his closest competitor. But you know, Michigan International Speedway has a way of reaching up and fighting the inexperienced driver. Well, Jeff says he knows that. He knows that he can't push the car too hard or he'll wind up in the wall. But then again, he can't take it too easy because there are a bunch of guys starting behind him who will just love to have the opportunity to charge their way to the front. And for more on a couple of those hard chargers, let's go up pit road to Benny Parsons.
Let's take a look at our Sears Die-Hard starting lineup. The field 34 strong, and once again for the 8th time this year, 21-year-old Jeff Gordon will lead the charge in the Baby Ruth-sponsored Ford. Alongside him, the 35-year veteran Jimmy Spencer out of Berwick, Pennsylvania, in an Oldsmobile. Back to row 2, Winston Cup regular Hut Strickland, and Busch Series regular, already a winner this year, Warren Burton in the car number 27. There's that front row. The young man you heard John Turner talking about, Jeff Gordon, already a 2-time winner this year. impressive win at Charlotte Motor Speedway. In that Ford Thunderbird, the Bill Davis-owned Baby Ruth Ford, alongside him the veteran of Winston Cup and now Busch Series competition, Jimmy Spencer out of Berwick, Pennsylvania. They call him Mr. Excitement, and believe me, folks, if you ever watched him race, you know why he got the name. Pontiac safety car is pulled away. We get set for green flag racing action from Michigan International Speedway. Glad to have you with us on a beautiful afternoon here in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Strickland in the car number 92, the Stanley Tools machine, takes the spot on the inside in turn 3. So Strickland rides second, but the battle now is back for fourth spot.
Bill Elliott trying to take over that fourth spot, but couldn't quite make the pass.
Back up front, Jeff Gordon. Remember, he'll be going to Winston Cup next year to run for Rookie of the Year, and Elliott is on a tear, Ned.
Yes, he is, moving his Budweiser Ford down on the inside of Jimmy Spencer, taking over the third position. That's a car out of the Harry Belling shops in Dawsonville, Georgia. Elliott still has ties there. Of course, he drove for that organization, Winston Cup Racing, for many, many years, and now they maintain this V6 Busch Grand National car for him. Got her working well today.
Indeed, his best finish of the year, a fourth at Dover, Delaware, on the 1 mile at Dover, so they certainly have put the V6 program together. Got to give a call to the folks here in the shop. Back up front, they are chasing 21-year-old Pittsboro, Indiana driver Jeff Gordon. Gasket 200. Back with more live green flag action after this. Stay with us. International Speedway, lap 10 being shown on the board of 100, which will comprise this 200-mile event. Well, there's your leader, Bud Strickland, in the car number 92, the Stanley Tools sponsored machine. And we'll show you what happened as we went to break just moments ago. Bill Elliott, on the bottom of the racetrack, Ned, was able to make the move.
Well, he moved on the inside of Jeff Gordon, who had led since the green flag drop. But we see Hut Strickland coming up on the outside there. Then he all of a sudden decides maybe to follow Elliott through to make the pass on Jeff Gordon. And he pushes Elliott through.
Series car that's owned by Bristol, Tennessee's Ed Whitaker.
Boy, cars were three abreast going into the turn, but they singled out. But Jeff Gordon came out ahead. Todd Bodine and the Wardburton car number 27 went into that turn.
Let's check in the pits with John Kernan.
Well, we're with DK Ulrich, who is the crew chief for Tim Fedewa. And DK, you guys now have assumed the lead, and I understand you're going to try and go the rest of the way on gas.
Well, I think we can do that. This is the V6 motor. We should get 57 laps on our fuel. We need to go about 63, but with this caution, I think we'll make it okay. We're going to be close, but it'll be fun to watch.
He's a fine young driver, a good talent that we're probably going to hear a lot from next year.
I think so, yeah. It's kind of like one of the guys in our farm system here. You know how we bring guys along. Tim's going to be a good one.
Tim Fedewa and crew are going to roll the dice. They're hoping now that they've got enough caution laps, they can go the rest of the difference.
Well, we mentioned early on that we weren't sure how the inexperienced Busch Series drivers would handle the high banks, and Jeff Gordon has done an outstanding job in that Baby Ruth Ford Thunderbird.
He really has, Jerry. He dropped back in the pack there for a little while. Good pit work here. Got him out up at the front again, and certainly giving Bill Elliott about all he wants right now.
Busch Grand National finish for Elliott, fourth. 2 different times. Let's check in with Benny Parsons.
Hey guys, you know, it looks to me like Jeff Gordon runs awfully well when the tires are fresh, but after about 5 laps, that's when the inexperience really shows up, and the guys, the Winston Cup drivers, start going right by him. This has been 2 or 3 laps since the caution flag, since they threw the green flag back. Let's watch about 5 laps and see if Jeff Gordon is able to stay up there. If he can, he just might win this baby.
Well, it looks like Benny went a little high in the turn that time. If Elliott picked up a car length or so on this last time around, it might already be telling a little bit. But I'll tell you, fellas, on the go.
And back up front, you see this battle for second spot. Bill Parsons just can't quite get the measure of Earnhardt, and now down on the bottom of the track, he may not be able to have the momentum here. Yes, he's coming back strong. Out of turn 4, they nearly touch Bill Parsons, the Purex detergent Oldsmobile, but it's Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon, and Parsons needs a little addressing help.
Yes, he does, Jerry. It's tough down there without a helper, and while they were running side by side, look how far Todd Bodine was able to pull out front. But Earnhardt knows what groove he needs to stay in, and he's staying right there in that groove, but Jeff Gordon really putting the pressure on him. Jimmy Spencer now moves into fourth. Parsons falls back to fifth, but Bill Elliott now trying to move on the inside of him as Elliott has the momentum coming off the turn.
Elliott reaches by on the inside and will take the spot away.
Now here comes Jeff Gordon down on the inside of Dale Earnhardt. The Ford, ooh, they touch a little bit coming off the turn. They touch again.
Earnhardt was not about to give the position away. He said, young man, you need to learn a little more about the speedways before you're going to pull up in front of me. He hadn't quite cleared him, and Earnhardt said, well, I can let him go or I can tap him and give him a little bit of a wide-eyed drift there.
That's part of the lesson that Benny Parsons was talking about at the top of the show. And Jeff didn't want to mess up there. He decided just to back off a little bit and let Earnhardt have the position back.
Now, a couple of years from now, it might have been a different outcome with Gordon having a little more experience, but Earnhardt able to hold the position. Let's pulling up there in turns 3 and 4. We've have had a collision. You see what's left of the Daly's first aid Oldsmobile of Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy Spencer has walked out of the car, walked down to the grass, and just climbed in the ambulance. It's required by NASCAR, and it's a good requirement that if a driver does come into contact with a wall, he must take a ride to the infield care center to be checked out. And that's Jimmy Spencer, two-time winner this year, won at Myrtle Beach and in Orange County just a week ago, driving for Dick Moroso. They were battling down the backstretch. Let's take a look, see if we can see exactly what may have happened just moments ago.
Spencer in the car number 20 on the inside of Dale Earnhardt. The car gets a little bit loose with him, Jerry. The back end goes around. Earnhardt goes on by, but he collects Jeff Gordon as Gordon tries to go by on the outside. Spencer slams the outside wall, and Gordon also, you can see the damage to his Baby Ruth Ford. Quite a bit of damage. Benny Parsons, are they going to be able to get him repaired?
I don't know, Ned. They changed the right sides. They tried to beat the spoiler up where you'll at least have some spoiler. Now Bill Davis is trying to get the quarter panel jerked out a little bit. Have changed 4 tires on the car. There's some damage to the rear. We see the rear of the car down. That's going to keep the spoiler down out of the airstream. That's certainly going to help hurt the car's handling characteristics in the corner.
Yeah, I would think so. Most of the sheet metal damage seems to be to the left side as Spencer went up and hit him. And you can see a little bit of damage there as he clipped the outside wall as well when he was knocked up in there. But you see the damage to the rear of the car that Benny was talking about too. And yeah, that'll affect the handling qualities of it. We'll take another look at it.
Once again, the car number 20 of Jimmy Spencer getting a run on Dale Earnhardt on the inside of turn 3. Spencer's car just begins to slip and slide. The rear end goes around, and Gordon does a masterful job to try to get above him. And Spencer tags the wall with the front end and then with the rear end. Once again, a different angle.
There they are, side by side, Earnhardt and Spencer. Spencer's car gets loose. All of a sudden, the back end goes around, and here comes Gordon. Spencer clips Gordon, knocks Gordon up into the wall just briefly, and Spencer slams hard into the wall. A little bit of fire there, but it goes out pretty quickly.
Let's check into the Benny Parsons, who's in the Jeff Gordon pit. Benny?
You know, Jerry, we talk about flat spotting tires and causing vibrations and what have you. Here's what we're talking about when we say flat spotted tire. When you spin these cars at 180 miles per hour and slam on the brakes and this tire stops as it slides across the pavement, it just simply wears through the tire into the air. You see there's nothing there except the inner liner that's in there. And fortunately that's there because that enables them to drive the car back to the pits without too much damage, which this is a flat spotted tire, folks.
And it almost looks like the soles of your shoes, Benny. I've seen those shoes after you've had a couple of shots at running to the buffet in the afternoon. So, but you don't wear radials, do you?
No, I'm on bias fly, as a matter of fact. And hey, he's back in. Let's see what they're doing this time. They put some tape on the rear of the deck lid to keep the air from going in the deck lid, blowing it off. They got black tape, they got white tape, and they got red tape. I don't know exactly why they got all that. They're also bending the spoiler up more, trying to get the spoiler up in the airstream. Once again, we can see how the rear of the car is bent down probably 5 or 6 inches, and that gets the rear spoiler down to the point that it's not very effective. Bill Davis put more and more tape on there, trying to keep the deck lid on. Okay, guys, he's gone. I'm done.
That's Bill Davis, Elton Sawyer. You see the back end of that one bent. The front of this one has been pretty much wiped out as Unfortunately, Jimmy Spencer is okay. Caution flag for the 5th time today. Back with more green flag action after this.
Peeking out from behind Kelly Moore comes Todd Bodine, the number 2 point man on the tour in the CC and Welliver, number 34. There's Gordon coming up. I don't know if there's a score to settle there from last week. Jimmy Spencer leading Jeff Gordon.
Just blowing the horn, let him know he's there.
That's
just
it.
A little tap.
There's Kenny Wallace, now right behind Jeff Gordon, dropping 1 spot on the restart.
Well, I tell you, it's amazing. You come off of that flat corner we're looking at, and look at the length of the straightaway. And it's hard to believe that these little V6 motors can wind up and pull these heavy cars as fast as they do down this track. These 6-cylinders are putting out some good power now.
Plus, when you come off, especially turn 2 here, you come off turn 2 from the bottom of that corner, and look, it just looks like you've got all day to get out there and let that car, have its head and go out there toward the wall in the front straightaway. The track is very, very wide from the low line you run here in the corner. Now watch here at turn 1, turn 2. Just look at all the room you got here to track out.
You got a lot of room out there, but you got a pretty good chunk of concrete if you let it too much in. And we see a lot.
From second on back, though, things are pretty close. There's Jeff Gordon, who's moved to the 2nd spot. 6th in the Busch Grand National points. 2 wins, 6 top 5s, 11 top 10s, and a whole lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas for that team.
Yeah, just, you're so close on what you can do, and just a little bit of luck one way or the other. And it's hard to live with what happens in racing. It's a tough sport at times.
He moves on to Winston Cup next year, as does Kenny Wallace, as does his car owner, Bill Davis, with another driver.
To be named, I guess. We'll never know who's going where.
Well, he's been named. I'm just not sure he's been announced. That's why I'm kind of hanging on that last word there. He's here today, if that helps you. On the doorpost of Jeff Gordon's car, a black number 9. There's the garage area here. Still reeling from the loss of Clifford Allison in a practice crash in Michigan last week. A very talented driver from a great racing family. Lost to the racing community, and still very heartfelt here as that loss is across the country. A trust fund has been established for Clifford's 3 children. Your donations are certainly welcome. Would be gladly welcomed at this time. Here is the address: National Bank of Commerce, 3059 Warrior River Road, Hueytown, Alabama, 35023. Address your check to the Children of Clifford Allison Trust Fund. Your donation would be most welcome. Jeff Gordon riding here in 3rd spot behind Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt as he goes up into turn number 3. And that number 9 we spoke of, and not just Jeff's, but many of the cars here are carrying and will in coming weeks. Look on the doorpost between the side windows there. Look at it. Tough reminder of a very tough aspect of this business.
On the last pit stop, Jeff Gordon's team came in. They had saved their left tire change. They made that. They had to come around a second time. Car owner Bill Davis said, I made a mistake. I dropped the jack too soon. They came around, tightened up the lug nuts on the left rear, and they were back out onto the racetrack. Let's go.
We'll get back to green after this 7th caution of the day. Green flag on lap 172. Todd Bodine way up the inside. A big commotion up front.
Yeah, Burton took a look to the inside. He was going.
Oh, Spencer goes around.
Boy, now, I tell you what, thought no one was going to hit, but one car did get some damage.
Jeff Berry, the 22 car.
Quite have enough to get back around.
I believe that's the 8th caution flag this afternoon. For Jeff Berry, he's been involved in 3 of the last 4.
Here goes Spencer. He's in the middle of the pack going down in the corner. Okay, there's Todd Bodine in the car in front and make contact. Spencer lifted, looked like the one car might have tagged him just a little bit, turned him around, and I don't know how he kept getting hit from this 15 cars right here. Spencer looked like he grabbed another gear, shifted things, started taking on off.
Here's the 22 of Jeff Berry. Bam! I think that's Ricky Craven took the nose off of Berry's car and went around.
There's Spencer already starting around. He's going to back it in front of everybody, and we start seeing the big chain reaction. It's amazing as many cars got around without hitting it more than they did. No contact. There's the car coming back across there. That was Ricky Craven, and you know, he continued on around, but the jolt that he took, it looked like it took the rear end round on the car.
Do it here, but at turn 3, they're 3 wide into the corner. Something had to give, and it was Todd Bodine who got squeezed out of that sandwich. Jeff Gordon down on the bottom of the racetrack. And the car up high, Jeff Burton. Here comes Todd right down to the bottom. He wants to return the favor. Dives it in there deep on Gordon. That lets Burton get away in second place. Kelly Moore's right up there battling with those 2 cars. The Moore is a lap down unofficially.
No, it's been getting a little looser as the day goes, so I don't believe it's going to tighten up.
Okay, that's the story here.
The story here, though, Todd Bodine. He and Jeff Gordon got together, and along came Joe Nemechek, the point leader. Bodine, number 34, was hoping to gain some ground on Nemechek in the points. Look at this.
And they got together again.
Don't tell those guys you can't go 3 wide back. He's in that pack. And Gordon gets into the side of Joe Bessie. Bessie and Spencer squeaks through right at the wall. Mike Stefanik spins and continues, trying to take evasive action. And everybody's going to race back turn 1.
Mike, here they are going down the front straightaway. There's the 1 car entering the corner right there. There's Bessie on the outside. 1's down on the inside. They got together right there. It's just, boy, I tell you, he's on the left as far as he go. Bessie came down a little bit, and 1 was going up. And look right here at Spencer. I tell you, a little dirt track experience didn't hurt right there. He just slid by him on the outside in the loose stuff. Was able to clear him.
He lived a charmed life there. There's the car sliding up. That's Mike Stefanik spinning around and getting right back into gear and going again. Bessie's car is already up on the wall. Looked as if he came down.
Jerry, I must be in Bristol because I drove through Boone to get here. And I saw the drag strip this afternoon. And I saw the grandstands and the booth where you fellows are located. But there's a couple of things that are totally different. For the first time, the trucks, the transporters are in the infield. You'll be seeing them sometimes with the camera as they zoom around, follow the cars around the racetrack. The second thing, you've talked about it, a brand new racetrack. Check it out, folks. This is concrete from top to bottom, 33 degrees of concrete. How it's going to work? I don't know. And unfortunately, neither does anyone else out here because this racetrack is a little bit bumpy. Concrete is very difficult to get smooth. I don't know. We're just going to have to run 250 laps and see what works out. John, have these guys got any idea what's going to happen?
And what a year Jeff Gordon has had.
In practice here this afternoon, he was the fastest. Everybody thought he'd get the pole, but he didn't. And it looks like he's going to try to get the lead. Ooh, he gets down on the inside, pushes Wallace up a little bit. Here comes Morgan Shepherd. He'll take advantage of that as well and move into second.
Harold Ford's up front, running 1 first and second. Let's check in with Benny. First race at Bristol for Troy Beebe. He's going to give Beebe a little bit of breathing room because you got to respect this racetrack. And Beebe bobbles a little bit, and now Gordon gives it a little bit of bump.
You know, he showed a lot of patience, Jerry, when he went up there. A year ago, he would have tried to move right on, and that was one thing that people were saying, that he needed maturity. And there's Ricky Craven, an unscheduled pit stop for him, the Busch Grand National champion last year. But they said Jeff Gordon needed to learn to work the traffic, be more patient in the traffic. He has a good race car. He just needs to be a little more patient. I think he has learned that patience now and is working the traffic very well here.
Indeed. You see the tire change on the Ricky Craven car. The car number 75 was black flag. Butch Miller for possible oil leaks, and he's been on and off pit road, and now looks like he will come third. Would you change tires?
That was an unknown coming into this race, Jerry. They didn't know.
The car number 21 has chopped the lead down and will try to sneak a peek. Whoa, contact in turn 3, and Morgan Shepherd has a handful of steering wheel. What an outstanding job. That's a veteran racer. Here's Jeff Gordon, the car number 1, our early leader. You saw the problems he had in the pits earlier when the car was very, very near the wall.
But here he is now coming up through the pack. Ooh, he got very near the wall there too, Jerry. Very close to the wall.
Able to save it, the youngster. Back up front, Tommy Houston, the car number 6. Trying to put a little bit of pressure on him. These 2 cars have now begun to pull away a little bit from Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon has dropped back. We understand that maybe he has developed a miss in the engine. absorbers. These cars run 6-cylinder engines. Benny, does he have a problem with that Baby Ruth Ford?
Yeah, that he does. They think he might have broken a shock absorber. They really don't know what it is. They don't think he's lost a cylinder, but they think he's broken something on the chassis. First guess, a shock absorber.
Everyone knew that because of the roughness in the pavement here, that the chassis of the car was going to take a tremendous beating. Shock absorbers was one thing. Oh, and he is into the wall hard. And cars behind him are spinning as well.
Heavy contact. Jeff Gordon, who was our early leader, has slapped the wall. The car has gotten airborne and come to rest as it rolls down the backstretch. Other cars involved. Absolutely unavoidable to miss the spinning car number one. Rick Wilson gets his car refired.
And Tracy Leslie was involved as well. Tracy has brought his car around to the front pits. We see Jeff Gordon moving around in the car. Now we can see him coming off the wall. He got up on the wall on the outside, and there's the blue 77 of Rick Wilson and the red car number 72 of Tracy Leslie that also got involved behind Jeff Gordon.
And thankfully, Jeff Gordon is climbing out of what's left of that Baby Ruth Ford Thunderbird. Violent impact, bringing out the caution flag for the 4th time today, and Jeff Gordon has climbed out. We'll talk to the safety crew there at Bristol International Raceway. A wild short track race coming your way on ESPN. Back with more from Bristol after this.
To move on the outside of Dale Earnhardt. Hey, you can't do that, Jeff, not on this racetrack. Now, maybe he was just making Earnhardt out. Gets Earnhardt to go high. Now Gordon moves to the inside. Good move.
And Gordon has only raced on this track 3 times, but he looks like a wily veteran as he is dicing it up with one of the best. 4-time Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt on the high side. Gordon on the bottom of the track, and right behind him, waiting for a chance to make the pass, is Robert Presley.
I think Earnhardt knew that Jeff Gordon would back off going into turn 3. Normally, the car on the inside of the track has the advantage going into that turn, but Gordon did back off. Didn't want to take any chances early in the race. Here's Robert Presley now. Morgan Shepherd up on the outside. Presley trying to go on the inside. Presley on the move.
Presley gets in front of Shepherd. Shepherd slides high, and here comes Phil Parsons. That's the same car.
Here at the Dover Downs International Speedway, put a sealer on the asphalt before the drivers came here for the Peak Antifreeze 500. Made it pretty slippery. Some drivers had problems in practice and qualifying, and there was a long-awaited announcement about a big sponsorship on a new team for 1993. For more on all of that and highlights of the Peak Antifreeze 500, here's Randy.
Well, Ned, the driver's name is Jeff Gordon, the car owner, the familiar Rick Hendrick. And while here at Dover, they announced their sponsorship agreement for the 1993 season and beyond. It will be DuPont Automotive Finishes. That will be a 4-year deal for Jeff Gordon to run in the Winston Cup Series. Now, we talked about drivers having problems here at Dover with the new surface being refinished, and those problems...
I saw Jeff run the Atlanta race. I haven't seen that kind of talent in a young driver before. Not going to impress me as much as he did. And when you see a young guy that can handle an automobile like he can, you really think he'll be good for an awful long time.
For the moment, however, focus on the man on the pole. 10th time this season he's sat there. Here is Jeff Gordon with Dr. Dick Berggren.
Well, last time here, this guy dominated the event. He won the pole. He won the race, the biggest purse in the division's history. How about today, Jeff?
Oh, we got a good shot at it. You know, things are going really well for us so far this weekend, and we're just going to try to put it all together today. It's a long race and a lot of good competition, a lot of tough guys running really fast. So we'll just have to see if we got a little bit of luck and everything goes our way. I think we're going to have a good day.
You're going to try to run hard all the way or take it easy at the beginning?
Well, I think our car is going to come to us as the day goes along. I don't think we're going to be the fastest car at the beginning of the race, but the most important thing is that we lead that last lap, and that's what we're looking for today.
We just saw Todd Bodine go by with the 18 car when he made the pass on Jeff Gordon. There they go. They got together going off two. The back end broke loose on the 18 car. It was hard to tell. There's Todd Bodine. Well, there's Jeff Gordon right there in front of Todd Bodine, the red car. The green and black car. Looks like they got together going down in the corner. Looks like Bodine might have got in the back end of Jarrett, got him turned around. It's hard to tell from that angle, but it looked like they touched as they entered the corner.
We'll sure want to hear from those two about what happened up here in turn number 2. And there is that car of Baum getting snarled on the bottom of the racetrack. 54 laps now complete. Many expect that Jeff Gordon is Winston Cup's next big superstar. Ernie Irvin offered him some advice.
Me, Mighty Mouse? Jeff's really good. You know, he's got a lot of talent, a lot of raw talent for 21. You know, the big thing he's got to do is just get out there and just remember that it takes a long time to win in a Winston Cup car, and realize he doesn't have any pressure. I've talked to Jeff a lot, and he's going to be one of our guys in the next couple of years. We're going to be racing hard every week.
Well, Jeff Gordon has put a tremendous effort into this race. Gordon and his crew, in fact, put more effort into preparing for this event than I have ever seen a Busch Grand National team put into any event. What they're trying to do is make this thing run at the end. Charlotte is a racetrack that tends to tighten up the car. That's what they're trying to get away from. They don't want the car to tighten up. But guess what? It did. It's getting tighter and tighter as the race wears on. He has just gotten a radio transmission from his crew. Take it easy. Don't burn that right front off. Make it to the halfway point. Gordon is not as fast as he was.
Guys like Ted Horn, Fireball, all that crap. Pretty special.
I'd hate to have to do the voting to pick the guy, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Here's Dick Bergeron standing by with a guy who has been flying out here this afternoon at Charlotte.
Well, he has indeed, Ken, but he'd like to go even faster than he's gone this afternoon. You have been pushing all day. They don't let you do much to the cars. Will they let you do enough so you can solve your problem and catch Mark?
Oh, I think so. We can do actually quite a bit. We found out this morning in the driver's meeting that we couldn't raise or lower a panel bar like we did the last time we were here at this pit stop or this intermission. So that's kind of hurting us a little bit, but, you know, we're real close. It looks like Mark, he's going to last most of the race this time. So, you know, we had a battle like this the last time, and he fell out, and it was unfortunate. It looks like this time we're going to really find out who's going to be tough at the end.
Well, they changed a rubber in the right rear of this car. They beat on the body to try to make it work a little bit better. The whole game plan here is to get this car so it's not as tight as it was, so when he turns left, the car will turn left.
Ray Evernham, who had left this team earlier, has come back specifically for this race. He's going to be with Jeff Gordon, part of the Hendrick stable next year, and they are trying everything they can to put him back in victory lane here today. Ford, of course, in this fall race has never been victorious. He yanked one home here in May. But the big story is what happens here. 89 over Todd Bodine. 3 races. Jeff Gordon won here in May. What are his chances today of sweeping the Charlotte Busch Grand National 1992 events?
There's a lot more things that involve winning a race, and it's not just going fast. It's being lucky, having good pit stops, and being consistent all day long. But right now, the car feels great. The motor's running good. Everything's going our way so far.
Jeff Gordon out in front. He's not won since his triumph right here at Charlotte in May. He leads by 10 car lengths coming out of turn 4 this time by. Got him covered and pulling away.
Yeah, you know, he won in Atlanta at the end of the season. He runs good on these big racetracks. This place in Atlanta, real similar. He's real strong on these big racetracks.
How good is he?
How good is he?
Yeah.
He's making the right move. He's at 21 years old. It's hard to imagine somebody going into Winston Cup with the victories and the knowledge he has behind him. He's won in everything he's ever been in. And he started when he was 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old racing. So he's a 21-year-old veteran.
The action continues. We come to 150 laps. 21-year-old Jeff Gordon out in front in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Jeff Gordon's car owner, how does he feel today? Dick Bergeron can tell you.
Well, Bill Davis, have you found it?
I think so. We worked hard enough. You know, we got to give a call to the guys on the crew. They really worked hard this week. They really were focused on what we had to do and have done a great job. We've got to thank Ray Abraham. Came back and helped us this week, and it sure shows. This is the hardest working team in the Busch Grand National Garage, I believe, and I think it's showing up today.
Ain't over till it's over, but he's looking awful good.
Hey, Dick, ask him who the new driver is for next year. Who's going to get in there?
Who's your new driver next year when you go to Winston Cup, Bill?
Well, I sure like that 44 car, don't you?
You get that? The 44 car, guys. That's Bobby Labonte. Remember, you heard it here first.
Last race here on TBS. That's tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern. Right here.
Nemechek, here we are. This is the crew of Jeff Gordon. They're sitting there sweating out these last few laps.
He's only, what, 3-4 car lengths back. 195 complete. Oh, we've got trouble up in turn 4. 3 cars crashing into the wall. 4 cars solid crash by car number 47. That's Billy Stanbridge, who started way back on the field. Yellow is out around the track. Leaders are coming back to the line. There you see Tom Peck's number 19 that have been running so well. Here come the leaders back to the side this. Ooh, right out in front of the leader comes Presley's car, darting through traffic and damaged automobiles. To the stripe comes number 1, Jeff Gordon, as it goes under yellow with Michael Waldrop in second.
Just 3 laps to go. They're going to have to hustle here to get this thing going again.
I don't think they will. I don't think there's a chance we're going to get this thing back under green. I think Gordon has this one. It'll come under caution. We've seen this happen before in this race, too. Decided under yellow.
Kenny Wallace is just soon at the end under the caution. That thing looks like the snowplow we were talking about. The front cave completely in on it.
Celebration about to begin for the Bill Davis team. Badly damaged and pull that car around. We'll see if they're able to keep anything running on that machine. Got a couple. Here's Resendez still out there. Harris Teeter car all beaten up. So they're showing 198. They've moved everyone down out of 4. They have a safety truck coming down the main straightaway, and the NASCAR officials trying to give folks a green flag finish. Trying to have them come across. This will be something.
It might turn out to be an old drag race right here.
It could be just 1 lap to the side of it. There you had a major 4-car altercation. All kinds of cars torn up, and that's about the fastest work I've ever seen on a super speedway to get us ready to go again.
Looks like the place to watch is that flag stand up there to see what they're going to do next.
Field is coming around out of 3 and 4.
Here's a guy that will just soon see an end of the caution. Bill Davis owns the number 1 car, but I don't know if they've told him yet if it's going to go 1 more lap or not. Yeah,
no, I think that the 29 has run out of fuel. I think that Parsons' car is being pushed in right now. There's 2 cars out here that have run out of gas. Here's the 29 getting a push from Robert Presley as he came down.
Bobby Labonte pushing Terry Labonte.
And Bobby Labonte pushing Terry Labonte just behind them.
White flag's out. It's going to end under the caution. But the problem here, you got here, you can push anybody up until the last lap. You cannot push them after the white flag. See Terry drop him off. He knows you can give him any kind of push till 1 to go. See, that just drop his brother off and say, bro, I'm sorry about that. You're going to have to hike back in.
Long walk. There's Phil Parsons down on the bottom. And the fuel pressure on that car is all lit up. Here's what brought out this caution. Would have gotten them home. Well, you see Tommy Houston's car. Savage hit there by Stanbridge.
Yeah, he's back in there really knocked the back off that car. I was concerned about Tom Peck hitting close to that driver's door like that.
Well, meanwhile, the story is in the back straightaway as we get ready to decide this under caution. And how about this for drama? There you see the Gordon car in first, Michael Waldrop in second, but where's the 29? Take a look for 3rd place. Where is he? Right there being pushed in the last lap. That could be costly.
Yeah, I don't think they've in the past, they went back and redone this. Let me tell you, people wonder why they all ran out of gas on the caution. The fuel pickups are in the right rear, way over in the far right rear side of the car for centrifugal force sling the fuel to that side, making these left-hand turns. When you run slow like this, the fuel runs away from the pickup and the cars die. It could possibly have fuel, but it's just not capable of picking it up because it's not at speed.
So coming down for the finish on this one, we're sure that it's Jeff Gordon and Michael Waltrip. Now we're watching as they're pushing the Parsons car back up, but I think they'll probably penalize that car for taking an assist on this caution finishing lap. Checkered flag is coming down. They're going to finish, and they're Michael Waltrip went up and nudged the one car across as they came across the line.
Maybe what he should have done, he just should have pushed him across and disqualified him.
Disqualified. That may be what he had in mind. Well, we'll be back in a moment with more from this strange finish to the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. At the Charlotte Motor Speedway, for the second time in 1992, it's Jeff Gordon in the winner's circle. Let's go join him now.
Such a strong performance this afternoon. Back in victory lane in Charlotte. How big a day is this for you?
It's an unbelievable day. It's been a long time since we've been here, and car was just incredible today. And you know, it's unfortunate that Mark fell out because he was definitely the one to contend with. But I think we had something for him at the end. You know, what we did to the car at the halfway point really, really worked. The car was really neutral, just unbelievable. I thought Michael was going to give us some fits there at the end, but I just can't say enough for this Baby Ruth Ford Thunderbird. The motor ran great, the car handled great, and I'd also just like to thank Ray Evernham for coming on board. And it obviously makes a difference when he's with us. It just adds that little extra bit, but we're thrilled to death.
Well, Ray hadn't been with him since his last victory here at Charlotte, but how about the end of the race with the caution flag and cars running out of gas? Were you worried?
I was scared to death. You know, they said guys are running out of gas, and I didn't know what they were talking about. All of a sudden, mine started sputtering. I thought we were going to run out of gas, and just made it just enough. Got us all the way back here to victory circle. That's what's important.
Gann and Spencer took on new tires at about lap 183. You chose to not do that. Any second thoughts? Did you feel them coming?
We had second thoughts. We knew if we come in, they would stay out, and if we stayed out, some of them would come in. But we gambled. We had an awful good car, and I knew that there was 13 cars on the lead lap, and they were going to have to be pretty fast to get to us. But we just stayed real consistent. Car was excellent. I just can't say enough.
So there's the winner for sure. It is Gordon for the second time this year, and for sure it is Michael Waltrip in second. Unofficially, we have Bobby Labonte for third today and Terry Labonte in fourth. With more on the story on how this race finally came down to this unusual finish, let's go to Randy Pemper.
Michael, heck of a run out there today. Just didn't have the time, and the caution laps hurt you at the end.
Yeah, well, he was better than us all day. You know, he out-qualified us almost a second, so it says a whole lot for this Pennzoil crew to be able to get this car race ready and be able to make it interesting anyway. He just was a lot faster. Congratulate him. I think 4 or 5 years ago I ran second to another little 20-year-old. Rob Moroso beat me in this race, and I want to congratulate Jeff. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Hope we can be racing 20 years from now against each other.
Let's go to the Stanley Tool Pit Control Center and find out who the True Value Master Mechanic today was. Here's Rick Benjamin.
Well, quite a story. We've documented how Ray Evernham came back to the Bill Davis team just this week to help him for this race. Ray Evernham is the winner of the True Value Master Mechanic Award today because he helped Jeff Gordon find victory lane here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Ray. One other note, we're told that Tom Peck, who took such a hard hit up in the fourth corner to set up that last caution period, treated and released at the Infield Care Center. Very safe race car and a good outcome to that for Tom Peck.